Hello everyone, this is part 8 of What If Naruto Was the Devil Ninja, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and to like, to subscribe, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Naruto, Tayuya and Sasum were walking through the town where Fuma clan lives, while looking around the place. All around them, there were bars, casinos, and various other rip-off joints. Along with that, people are seen fighting and mugging one another in the middle of the street, and no one seems to be bothered by that. It's like they're used to it. You know, Naruto said. Compared to this place, that other town seems like a nice honeymoon spot. I almost regret destroying that place instead of this one. Sasum flinched because of Naruto's words, and Tayuya noticed it. Don't say stuff like that, she said to Naruto. You are scaring the kid here. Naruto looked at the two for a second, before he looked back in front of himself. All I said is the truth, he said. This place is a dump. At least in that other place, no one was trying to rob you in the middle of the street. Tayuya sighed and said, let's just go and meet with the leader of the Fuma clan. She looked at Sasum. What did you say his name was again? The current head of Fuma clan is called Hanzaki, Sasum said. What kind of a man is he? Tayuya asked. Well, he harbors great resentment towards Orochimaru for seducing many of our clansmen, that's for sure, Sasum said. He also does everything needed for the clan's survival, including the robbing of random people, and is willing to kill if necessary. He also has respect towards fellow shinobi, as he tends to offer them to just hand over the money and everything valuable and he would let them live. He doesn't do that often with civilians, though. What about the rest of the clan members? Naruto asked. They follow Hanzaki, Sasum said. They might not like it, but that's the only way to survive. No one hires us for missions any longer, and we have to do whatever we can to survive. Men in the clan are usually attacking people and robbing them, while women are also stealing, but not from some random people and not in the middle of the street. They do it in different ways. She blushed in the end when she mentioned what women are doing to get the money. Tayuya bristled when she realized what women in the Fuma clan are doing to survive. She was angry at Orochimaru, at the sound daimyo, and even at Fuma clan males themselves, because they are letting the woman doing those sort of things. Of course, she knew that they don't have much of a choice, but they could have at least tried to find and do something else. Naruto didn't say anything, nor was he really bothered. After living for as long as he did, and after seeing many atrocities, he has toughened up. That doesn't mean that he is happy though, and will at least try to do something to help Fuma clan members. XXX. Kajuro, now in her real form, teleported in the middle of the forest, where the entrance to Orochimaru's base is. As soon as she appeared, with Jigamo and Kamakiri in her arms, she dropped them on the ground and then she also fell down in between them, as she was completely exhausted from the jutsu she used to save her friends and clansmen, and then escape from Tayuya. Jigamo and Kamakiri woke up soon, and saw Kajuro lying in between them. Kajuro, Jigamo called. Why did you risk your life for the two of us? Kamakiri asked. Kajuro though, she didn't say anything, and was just lying there, with half-opened eyes, and with her lips trembling. Crazy fool, Kamakiri said, before both he and Jigamo lifted Kajuro and carried her toward the entrance of the sound base. XXX. Soon enough, the three of them were in a dark room, with many bottles, jars and scrolls all over the shelves. Kajuro was lying on the ground in front of the kneeling Jigamo and Kamakiri, while on the other side of them, sit Orochimaru, with Kabuto standing next to his chair. Please, my lord, Jigamo begged. Our fallen comrade doesn't have long to live, Kamakiri continued. Only you with your mastery over medical jutsu can save her. I want you both to bow your heads, put your hands on your hearts, and contemplate, Orochimaru said in low tone of voice. Contemplate the many ways in which you have failed me. Kamakiri got angry. But my lord, he said. We have risked our lives for your cause. Every order you've given us, we have obeyed. You promised to help us restore the Fuma clan. You must acknowledge our service to you. Jigamo added, equally angry as Kamakiri. Orochimaru looked at the two for about a minute, before he said. There is only one way for the two of you to atone for your failures. Kamakiri and Jigamo looked at each other, before they nodded. After that, they pulled out the kunai, and jumped at Orochimaru, yelling at him. It took an instant for both of them to be cut down before they could even land a hand on Orochimaru. The two Fuma clan ninja fell on top of Kajiro, dead, while Orochimaru laughed loudly at the sight before him. He was interrupted by the voice which was heard from the chamber door. "You should stop with that laugh," the female voice said. "It's annoying." Orochimaru and Kabuto looked toward the voice, and both flinched at the sight of an extremely beautiful girl, with long purple hair and red eyes. She wears a full-body outfit that highlights her curvaceous body, with metallic shoulder pads. On some places, her outfit is see-through, and shows her stomach, most of her legs and arms, as well as her chest, except her breasts. On her back, she has strapped a pure black, double-edged, longsword, with curved guard, and red line along with several red circles on the blade. "What are you doing here?" Orochimaru asked with fear clear in his voice. The girl just looked at Orochimaru for a while, with disinterest in her eyes. She let both him and Kabuto squirm a little, before she finally said, "The boss sent me here. I wouldn't have any other reason to come here." But why?" Kabuto asked. "If it's because these Fuma weaklings failed, then you shouldn't worry about it. We can take care of the problem." "You can't," she simply said. "The boss himself went to check out that new lake, and once he saw and heard about what happened, he immediately sent me to catch those responsible, and then take them to him. He has a lot of interest in someone who can do stuff like creating miles-wide crater and fill it with water in barely a minute. The two of you along with everyone else in this base, put together, wouldn't be able to catch that person, thus, I'm here." Orochimaru and Kabuto wanted to argue, even rage at the girl, but they knew better. If they do that, they would be done for before they could even blink. The girl walked over to the two dead Fuma clan members, and one barely alive, and looked at them for about a minute. "You cannot defeat those people by yourself," she said. "But I can. Although, he has another task for you." She then looked at Kabuto and Orochimaru, before she showed a smile, which nearly froze both of them in fear. XXX. Naruto and Tayuya have spent the last 2 hours, listening to the story of the Fuma clan, and what they turned to after the wars and after some of them joined to Orochimaru. The ones who were telling the story, were the current clan leader, Hanzaki, as well as few other. After Sasam brought him to, well, let's call it Fuma clan compound, even though it's not that, and is more of a, several houses joined together to form one big house, Naruto and Tayuya have been in the meeting with the rest of the Fuma clan. At first, the Fuma didn't trust the two, as they didn't know them. Then the distrust turned to fear when the Fuma realized who Naruto and Tayuya were, because by now, everyone in the end knows about the new artificial lake which came out of nowhere on the same location where a town used to be. In the end, they calmed down, and relaxed, somewhat, and agreed to talk to them, per Sasam's request, as she is the one who told them that Naruto and Tayuya, or as she believes they are named, Alessandro and Lilinette, are not going to harm them and only want to talk about something. From then on, Sasam's wound was treated by some clan members, while most others were talking with Naruto and Tayuya. After they heard the story, which they already knew, at least most of it, Naruto and Tayuya finally got the chance to say why they are there, and what they want from the Fuma clan. "Before I tell you why we came here and what we want from you, you need to understand one thing," Naruto said, with a very serious expression on his face. Seeing the serious look on Naruto's face, everyone in the room turned serious as well, and some were even sweating a little, because they got a bad feeling. Seeing that he has everyone's attention, Naruto said, "While I don't really care if someone sees me destroying stuff, nor do I really care if others find out that I have some plans, I do want to keep it a secret, what those plans are," Naruto said. "I don't want to keep them a secret because I'm afraid that someone will put a stop to those plans, but because if others find out, they will try to put a stop to them, and even though they will fail, it might cause me some trouble and prolong the time it will take me to get those plans realized. Do you understand that?" The members of the Fuma clan nodded, as they did understand, but they didn't understand where Naruto is going with this. "So, what I'm trying to say is, that if I tell you what I want from the Fuma clan, then you will only have two choices," Naruto said. "One is, that you go with those plans and join me, or I will have to kill every single one of you." Once Naruto said that, there was utter silence in the room, as everyone was floored by what they heard, and didn't know what to say. What they did know, is that they are suddenly all scared and felt like they are seating in the presence of death itself. Even Tayuya was surprised and scared, because she didn't think that Naruto would say something like that. What's worse, she knew that he would actually go through with it, and kill everyone in the Fuma clan if he wants to. It took 10 minutes for Hanzaki to calm himself down enough to ask a question. If that's how things are, then why would we even want to hear the question in the first place? If we don't agree with your plan, then you will kill us all, so why should we even hear you out, and not just tell you right now, that we are not interested, and you can be on your way, and we can get back to our business. Well, if you agree to my plan and join me, then you won't have to be criminals any longer, and your women won't have to whore themselves out for money. Naruto said with a straight face and with no emotions. This made everyone to start thinking about it, and some of them actually remembered the time when Orochimaru's man was there to talk with them. One of those who remembered that time was Hanzaki, so he said, "You know, your words remind me far too much of what Orochimaru's man were talking about when they were here, only without the threat of extermination. He also wanted us to join his village, but the thing is, you have no village, so I don't understand what you mean when you say you want us to join you." To answer that question, I would have to tell you about the plan, Naruto said. Are you willing to listen? You really need to give us something more, Hanzaki said. I can't risk it while knowing nothing. Naruto sighed, and thought about what he should tell to Hanzaki. It took him a minute to realize that there is nothing he can tell him without revealing the plan, and if he does that, and Hanzaki and the others refuse to join him, well, it would be a problem. Naruto's thoughts were interrupted by the explosion which came from the front door of the compound. It brought everyone on their feet, and they all ran outside to see what happened. Naruto, though, he didn't run, but he also went outside to see what's going on. He was quite surprised when he saw Orochimaru, Kabuto and a black-haired girl, standing at the entrance, with Orochimaru and Kabuto having smiles on their faces, while the girl wore blank expression. Why are Orochimaru and his butt buddy here? Tayuya screamed. And what the fuck is she doing here as well? Naruto looked around and notices that all members of the Fuma clan are scared out of their skin, and look like they're about to piss themselves in fear. He then looked at Tayuya, and asked, "Who is that girl?" "She is bad news," Tayuya said, while sweat was rolling down her face. She was scared, and Naruto noticed that right away. It made him wonder who this girl is, if Tayuya is so afraid of her. "You want to give me some more information?" Naruto pressed. Tayuya sighed and was about to say something, but before she could, the girl spoke. "So, you are the one who blew up that town 2 days ago and created the lake afterward." Her voice was calm and soft. It was as if she has no fear whatsoever, while in the presence of someone who can cause as much destruction as Naruto can. "I got to admit, I haven't seen the boss so happy in a while," she added, causing Naruto to narrow his eyes. Even Tayuya had her eyes narrowed after she heard what the girl said. "When he heard that there is someone that powerful, he was so happy that I was sure he was going to have an orgasm," she continued to talk, and this time, her words caused many to sweat drop. Even the members of the Fuma clan sweat dropped, even though the fear was gripping their hearts. "Which is why he sent me here to catch the two of you and bring you to him. He is quite interested in doing some experiments on you too." Naruto and Tayuya looked at the girl, then at Orochimaru and Kabuto, before they looked at each other. "Who is her boss?" Naruto asked Tayuya. "It's Orochimaru," Tayuya said. "But why is she speaking about him as if he isn't standing right next to her?" Naruto looked at Orochimaru and Kabuto, and shook his head. "I don't think those two are Orochimaru and Kabuto," he said, surprising Tayuya, but also members of the Fuma clan, who were able to hear him. "I have met the real Orochimaru and Kabuto several times, and those two don't feel like those two. These two feel quite a bit weaker." Naruto's words brought hope to the Fuma clan that they are not going to die here today. "That girl, though," Naruto said again. "She's really strong." "You bet she is," Tayuya said. "She is the strongest ninja Otogakure has, and not by a little. She's probably even stronger than Orochimaru." Fuma clan members almost had heart attacks when they heard Tayuya, and Naruto's narrowed his eyes. Across from him, Orochimaru, Kabuto and the girl also narrowed their eyes, for several reasons. One is that they are surprised that Naruto seems to be able to tell that Orochimaru and Kabuto standing in front of him are fake, the other reason being that he can tell how powerful the girl is. That takes a really good sensory ninja to be able to guess how powerful someone is. Finally, The three are really surprised that Tayuya seems to know that the black-haired girl sent by Orochimaru to capture them is the strongest ninja in Otogaku. That is something no one outside of Orochimaru, Kabuto, the former Sound 4 plus Kimimaro, as well as few others, knew. Out of them all, half are dead, so how the hell does this girl know that? This was the question running through the minds of the fake Orochimaru and Kabuto, as well as the black-haired girls. Who is she? Naruto asked Tayuya. What her name? Her name, Tayuya said. Her name is Taya Takumi. She's better known as the Yellow Dragon, Killen. Yellow Dragon, you say? Naruto questioned, as he was looking at the Taya with narrowed eyes. Tayuya nodded, before she said, yes, she is the descendant of the founder of the Takumi village, a guy named Saime, who founded the village about 100 years ago. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that she is his great-granddaughter, and is said to be more skilled than even Saime, not just in battle power, but also in craftsmanship. I think I heard about that village somewhere, Naruto commented while thinking. They were famous for making weapons for all of the ninja in the N, Tayuya said. Unfortunately, every time the big hidden villages went to war, Takumi village was attacked out of fear that their weapons would go to the enemy sides. And when there was no war, the residents of the Takumi village didn't have other choice but to supply the other villages with weaponry in order to survive. They couldn't even seek revenge against those who attacked them. As Tayuya was explaining everything she knew about Takumi village, Naruto was listening carefully. Taya was also listening, wanting to know how much Tayuya knows. She is also not in a hurry, so she has no problem waiting, and it would be beneath her to attack her opponents while they are not battle ready. Over time, Tayuya continued telling what she knows about the Takumi village. Their clientele from the other villages grew in skill, making the crafted weapons obsolete. When the village faced hard times, they requested help but were ignored. Right now, there is pretty much nothing left of that village. Taya might actually be the only remaining person from that village. I see, Naruto said. Before he might say something else, though, Taya spoke. Actually, there are few others who are still alive, she said. They have some plans though, with which I do not agree, so we went our separate ways. Is that so? Naruto questioned while looking at Taya. And why would you tell us that? Taya shrugged. It doesn't matter, she said. I won't make any difference if you know or not. I was sent here to capture the both of you, and I will do it, so you knowing about other member of the Takumi village, doesn't matter, as you will never get the chance to meet them. Naruto raised his right eyebrow. You seem so sure that you will be able to defeat us, he said. If you are saying that because you are on the same level as Orochimaru, then I will tell you right now, that Orochimaru, as powerful as he is a weakling compared to me. Taya smiled. We will see how powerful you are once the battle starts, she said, before she drew the sword from her back with her right hand, and held it pointed toward Naruto. There was some red glow around the edges of the black blade, which made Naruto curious about the sword. He could feel that the sword is not your average blade, and it almost feels like it has a power of its own. Sort of like Zanpakuto's, used by Shinigami and Arrancar. Don't underestimate her, Tayuya said with a sweat drop rolling down her cheek. Her skills in swordsmanship are above anyone I have ever seen, and she is said to have mastery over lightning on the level which would put the Raikages to shame. Naruto, though, only smirked, before he said, go and help the Fuma clan deal with those imposters. I don't think they will be able to take him out by themselves, even though they are not the real Orochimaru and Kabuto. I will deal with this girl, alone. Tayuya wanted to argue, but one look at Naruto's face told her he was serious, and that she should just listen to him if she knows what's good for her. So, she looked at him one more time, before she moved toward where the Fuma clan members have already started the battle against the fake Orochimaru and Kabuto, while she was explaining to Naruto the history of the Takumi village. Naruto pulled out his sword, and held it pointed toward the ground. He smirked, and asked, shall we? Taya didn't even bother to reply, as she disappeared in a burst of speed. Naruto disappeared soon after. XXX. Naruto was right. Orochimaru and Kabuto, which showed up to attack Fuma clan, weren't the real deal. This was proven right, about 5 minutes into the battle between the two of them, against the Fuma clan and Tayuya. Well, it was the two of them against the Fuma clan. Tayuya was only interfering if she had to, but she has decided to stay away for now, and see how the things go. When a powerful mix of fire and wind jutsu used by two members of the Fuma clan hit the fake Orochimaru and Kabuto, their disguises were destroyed, only to reveal that Kabuto was in fact Kajiro, while Orochimaru turned out to be Arashi, a member of the Fuma clan who joined Orochimaru, and also the cousin Sasum was searching for. The members of the Fuma clan, who didn't join Orochimaru, couldn't believe that they were being attacked by their own family, and while Kajiro does look to feel slight guilt because of what she is doing, Arashi seems to be almost psychotic. The reason why he was like that was revealed as soon as he revealed that he has used casualty puppet jutsu, and absorbed Kamakiri and Jigamo, thus gaining their powers, but also transforming into a monster. His mind was also affected because of the jutsu, and now everyone knew why he was as he is. Seeing that he is a great threat for his clansmen, Tayuya decided to take on Arashi, alone, while several others took on Kajiro, who was quite a bit more powerful than everyone who has stayed in the Fuma clan and didn't join Orochimaru. It took Tayuya just 2 minutes to defeat Arashi, who was powerful, even before he absorbed Kamakiri and Jigamo, which only made him stronger, but after Naruto turned her into human, hollow hybrid, Tayuya has become much more powerful, and Arashi couldn't do anything against her. She was able to defeat him by ripping the corpses of Kamakiri and Jigamo from Arashi, which sent him into shock and reverted him back to his original state or mind and physical look. By then, the rest of the Fuma clan were able to subdue Kajiro, and they all joined Tayuya. Unfortunately, the price of the jutsu Arashi used is life, so even though he was back as his old self, he is dying, and only has few minutes left. The Fuma clan gathered around him, as they had some final words, with Sasum crying as she didn't want him to die and leave her alone. He told her that she won't be alone, and that even though they are not as close as the two of them have been, the rest of the Fuma clan are her family, and as such, they will take care of her now that he won't be there any longer. Sasum and few others cried as Arashi finally died, though he had a happy smile on his face. He was happy because he knew that Sasum will be safe, and he was also happy that he is free again, after the terrible mistake he made by joining Orochimaru. The crying and mourning was interrupted by a large explosion, which was heard from where Naruto and Taya were fighting. XXX. For about 10 minutes, Naruto and Taya were fighting with only their swords, trying to see how powerful and skillful the other is, before they bring out the big guns. Even though they have only been exchanging sword strikes, the damage to the surrounding area is visible, since the strikes were powerful and each clash would produce a shockwave, which would spread around the Fuma clan compound, and cause destruction. You are good, Taya said, while standing several meters from Naruto. She had a smile on her face, and some sweat on her forehead. Across from her, Naruto didn't even look winded. It was like he has been out on a morning walk for the last 10 minutes, and not participated in a high-speed sword duel. But let's see how you deal with this. Taya grabbed her sword with both of her hands, and lifted it above her head. The sword was then surrounded by yellow aura, and soon, sparks of electricity appeared all over the blade. She then pointed the sword toward Naruto, and yelled, "Thunder Beam." As soon as she yelled her attack, Taya sent a very powerful beam of yellow electricity toward Naruto, who rose an eyebrow when he saw the attack. Naruto countered the move by pointing his left index finger toward the incoming attack and fired a medium-level, red-colored, Sero, which quickly collided with Taya's attack, and caused a big explosion, which covered the whole area in dust, and prevented Taya and Naruto to see each other. Though he couldn't see her, Naruto knew exactly where Taya is, because of his Pesquisa. Which is why, he noticed right away that Taya has jumped into the air, and pointed her sword toward the thundercloud-filled sky. Thunderbolt. Taya shouted her attack, again, and brought her sword downward toward Naruto, but instead of firing her attack from the sword, it was only acting as a medium to bring down the natural lighting from the sky. A very powerful bolt of lightning descended down from the sky, and hit Naruto head-on from above, completely covering him from sight in a dome of electricity. Several seconds later, the electric dome disappeared, and revealed Naruto standing in the middle of a crater. His cloths were burned on several places, but there doesn't seem to be any damage on his body. That was a good one, Naruto praised Taya, with a smirk on her face. But still not good enough. What the hell's up with this guy? Taya wondered in her head. There is no way he didn't receive any damage after that attack. I mean, yes, it wasn't even close to one of my more powerful ones, but he should have still be stunned if nothing else. Taya bit the thumb of her left hand, and went through one-handed hand size, before she slammed her hand on the ground. Blood clone jutsu, she yelled. The blood from her finger spread on the ground, and started to take form. 10 seconds later, another Taya was standing right next to the original one, only without the sword. You are pretty durable, I'll give you that, the original Taya said, while the blood clone Taya was performing hand signs. At the same time, the original was also performing other hand signs, with both hands this time, as she has attached her sword on the strap at her back. Let's see how far that durability goes. Water style, 9 water dragon jutsu. The blood clone shouted, and spit out water from her mouth, which then spread around the wide area, before it started to shape into 9 gigantic water dragons. Naruto's eyes widened slightly, as he saw this, and remembered the jutsu being used by Kakashi and Zabuza in their battle. The difference though, was astronomical, because Teia's version made Kakashi's and Zabuza's look like academy students playing around. He was even more surprised when he was what the original Teiya was doing. Lightning style, lightning infusion. The original shouted, and placed both of her palms on the ground and sent electricity through the water dragons, making them all sparkle for a few seconds, before they all moved toward each other, and started to merge together. Both the blood clone and the original Teiya shouted at the same time. Collaboration jutsu, storm style, Hydra. Naruto looked in amazement at the 300 feet tall, 9-headed monstrosity that Teiya has made. The 9-headed dragon was made out of water, but there was black lightning all around it, and if Naruto's eyes weren't messing with him, there were streams of black lightning, inside, of the dragon's body, flowing like rivers. This is one of my most powerful jutsu, Teiya yelled so that Naruto could hear her over the sound of dragon roars and the thunder which was heard from the sky above them. Naruto realized just then, that the thunderstorm is not normal, because the storm of that magnitude can't be natural, and even if it was, there would be lightning strikes all over the place, but from what he can see, there isn't a single lightning strike which was coming toward the ground, and were just dancing between the clouds. Let's see you counter it now. Naruto was brought back from his thinking by Teia's shouting, and noticed the 9-headed serpent dragon coming toward him. He saw it, and knew then and there, that no normal human can escape or counter that. It's a good thing that I'm not a normal man. Naruto thought with a smile on his face. Bakudo number 81. Danku. Naruto said, and immediately, a huge translucent barrier in the form of a large rectangular wall appeared in front of Naruto. Just as Naruto formed the barrier, Teia's 9-headed Hydra hit at the barrier, creating an explosion so big that it covered the entire Fuma clan compound, and completely erased it from the face of the earth. It took a few moments for the dust cloud to disappear, and to reveal Naruto standing behind the barrier, which, by the way, didn't even have a scratch on it. Quite a bit away from Naruto, Teiya was standing and looking at the barrier, and through it, Naruto. Her mouths and eyes were wide open in disbelief. She couldn't seem to comprehend how Naruto was able to defend himself against an attack like that, and doesn't even have a scratch on him. Who the hell is this guy? Teiya screamed in her mind, now starting to get scared for the first time in her life. The barrier Naruto created disappeared, and Naruto started to laugh lightly, before it turned into a full-out maniacal laugh, which scared Teiya to hell. She was backing away slightly from Naruto, while not taking her eyes off of him, in case he suddenly decides to attack. I guess it's a good thing that the members of the Fuma clan ended up outside of the gates of the compound, Naruto said through the laugh. They would have all been vaporized to nothingness by that attack. I must congratulate you, Teiya. Not counting Ichigo Kurosaki, and one other guy, you are the most powerful human I have ever fought, and that's saying a lot considering that I have lived for over 1,000 years. Teiya almost had a stroke when she heard what Naruto said, and then promptly fell on her ass in disbelief and fear. What are you talking about? Teiya barely stuttered. Naruto stopped laughing and just looked at Teiya with amusement in his eyes. Then, he decided to show her what real power is, so that she can see how far above her he actually is. Considering that Naruto, at this point, is a being above which any mortal being can hope to achieve, his power is transcendent, which means that no one can sense his power level unless he brings it down to their level of awareness. In this, he is the same as Aizen and Ichigo, as they have both ended up being transcendent beings. At least that's what the goddess told him. So, Naruto lowered his power level to the level where Teiya could feel it, and then let it loose. The effect was instantaneous. The air in the entire town grew so heavy, that people were having problem to breathe, let alone stand on their legs. Every living being in the town fell on their asses, as they were pressed down by Naruto's Ryutsu, and some of them have even passed out since they couldn't take it. The worst pressure of them all was felt by Taya, who was the closest to Naruto, and was getting even closer as she was on the ground, unable to move, and Naruto was slowly walking toward her, looking at her with narrowed eyes, but with a smirk on his face. At that point, Taya felt like Naruto is the ultimate predator, and she is a deer about to be devoured. Taya was reduced to a little girl, as she was pressed to the ground from the pressure released by Naruto. She had tears at the side of her wide eyes, which was a sign of how afraid of Naruto she is. Never in her life has she been afraid of anything or anyone, and she never thought she will be, but now that she was looking at Naruto as he was slowly walking toward her, she felt she was looking at the god of death, who has come to take her soul so he can play with it for the rest of eternity. When Naruto arrived right in front of Taya, he stopped releasing his Ryutsu, and the pressure Taya felt disappeared, allowing her to breathe normally. She then looked toward Naruto, and saw his right hand was extended toward her, but not in a threatening manner. Instead, it looked like he was offering her help to get back to her feet. Of course, Taya didn't immediately try to take his hand and get up. She was afraid of him, and until she knows what he wants, she won't be touching him at all. Seeing that Taya won't accept his help to stand up, Naruto sighed. "I won't hurt you," he said, surprising her. "This battle is over, and you lost, so there is no reason to hurt you at this point. On top of that, you are strong, and I respect strength a lot, which is why I have an offer for you." Taya looked at Naruto with surprised and confused look on her face. She wondered what kind of offer he has for her, and even wondered what would happen to her if she was to refuse his offer. What do you want?" she asked. "I want you to join me," Naruto said, and got wide-eyed look from Taya in return. "You are strong, and I want you to join me and become my comrade. In return for your allegiance, I will give you the same type of power that I have. Because of those powers, you will become much stronger. Not as strong as I am, but stronger than any normal human can even hope to become. So, what is your answer?" XXX. Naruto, Taya, and Taya were seating in a booth in one of the bars in the town. With them, there are several other members of the Fuma clan, led by Hanzaki. Since Taya was there, it was obvious she accepted Naruto's offer, and is now his new comrade and traveling companion, along with Taya. Now though, it was time to see if Fuma clan will be joining them as well, or will they stay where they are and continue to survive by being criminals and whores. After what happened earlier today, we of the Fuma clan have talked about it, and about what you told us, and have decided to listen to your offer. Hanzaki said, getting raised eyebrows from Naruto and Taya. Taya was just seating there quietly, as she didn't know about the offer, so she didn't have anything to say. "You agree to listen to my offer, even though you know what will happen if you refuse it?" Naruto questioned. "Yes," Hanzaki confirmed. "Orochimaru sent those three to take us for experimenting, as he needs new bodies. We were able to stay free because of you and Lilinet, but the next time he sends someone, we will be done for. We talked about it, and decided to listen to your offer, and if we don't like it, well, death is better than being used by Orochimaru for his sick experiments." Naruto thought about it for a minute, before he sighed. "Fine," he said. "When I said that I wanted Fuma clan to join me, I mean that I wanted you to join my village." He got confused expressions from everyone there except Taya. "Wait a minute," Hanzaki said. "What village? Are you actually from one of the hidden villages and they have sent you to get us to join you?" "No," Naruto said. "I have no affiliation to any of the current villages. I have decided to build a new village. Lilinet told me that we would need someone to live there, since, currently, the place where I plan to build the village, is completely empty. No one has lived there for decades now, so, we need someone to join. Your clan came up first, since Lilinet knows a lot about this land and what was happening here in recent years. Basically, she is the one who suggested you." This was another big surprise for the Fuma. Hanzaki and the rest of the Fuma who were there, all looked at Taya wondering, why she suggested them, and how does she know so much about the land of rice paddies. They also remembered that she knew a lot about Orochimaru, and for a moment, a thought passed through their minds that this was all a setup, and that Naruto and Taya actually work for Orochimaru, and are doing all of this to trick them so that the Fuma would in the end up as Orochimaru guinea pigs. The half a dozen Fuma clan members looked at Naruto and Taya, searching for any signs of deception, but after a minute of not finding one, Hanzaki sighed, and asked, And where exactly do you plan to build this village of yours? Land of Whirlpools, Naruto shortly answered, getting wide-eyed looks from everyone but Tayuya. But that place was completely destroyed, Hanzaki said. There is nothing left there. I know that it was destroyed, Naruto said. And while I don't know in what condition the island currently is, I know that no one lives there. The island is currently uninhabited, but is inhabitable and supposedly has a lot of natural resources, which makes it perfect to build a hidden village. No, it actually makes it perfect to build a whole country, which is exactly what my end goal is. The village is just the start. But you can't just take an island and build a country, Hanzaki argued. What if someone complains? Who? Naruto asked. The Uzumaki clan was the biggest clan on that island. From what I know, the Uzumakis were the royal family and rulers of the country. Also, every Azukage was an Uzumaki. But Uzumaki clan is all but gone, and those who are still alive are scattered all over the N. If some of them wanted or had the ability to rebuild the land, they would have tried by now. Since they didn't, the land is ripe for the taking, and no one can say anything. I'm actually surprised that none of the great nations tried to take it over after the fall of the Uzumaki clan. Knowing how greedy those bastards are, I wouldn't have been surprised if someone annexed the land of Whirlpools. Well, Tayuya decided to say something about that. From what I know, after the Whirlpool country was destroyed, the place was cleaned up of everything of worth, and then abandoned. The reason no one annexed it by now, is because no one thought it was worth it, even with the natural resources it has. I see, Naruto said. Well, anyway, what is your answer? He asked Hanzaki. If you decide to join me, you will have to work a lot to rebuild the village, and to build homes for yourselves, but that shouldn't be a problem since you will have to rebuild your house, which was destroyed during the battle earlier. Sorry about that, by the way. Anyway, Lilonette, Taya and I will be going around the EN, trying to earn money and find more people to join us, while you would stay in Whirlpool. I'm sure we can find some temporary accommodations for all of you, until the houses are built. Also, if you join, you will no longer have to be thieves and other things, he said that while casting a look toward few women who were there with Hanzaki. They all blushed and looked toward the floor in embarrassment. I will provide you with money to last for some time, until the houses are built, and I'm sure you have some money as well. Once your houses are built, strongest among you can try to do some bounty hunting and some odd jobs around the end to earn money, until the village is up and running, after which, we will be receiving missions, and over time, as other places are built, there will be more job for everyone, including non-fighters. XXX. It didn't take long for the Fuma clan members to accept Naruto's offer, which means that from that moment on, they were officially the first clan who joined the to be rebuilt land of Whirlpools. After the agreement, the Fumas went and collected what was left of their stuff, which unfortunately wasn't much, as everything was destroyed in the battle between Naruto and Taya. Naruto then gave them some money he had sealed in the scroll, and they told Tayuya to take them all to the land of Whirlpools, and stay there with them until Naruto comes to check the place. Taya would come with him, though. Why do I have to take them to Whirlpool? Tayuya grumbled. Because you are the only one who went there, Naruto said. You told me that Orochimaru took you once there along with few others, to check the place. That means you know how to get there better than me and Taya, and know what to expect. I will go and see if I can find more money and potential clans and people to join the village. Taya will come with me because, even though she agreed to join me, I still don't trust her completely. Taya heard this, but wasn't offended. She still doesn't trust Naruto, either, so they are even in that regard. Tayuya huffed. Fine. But better come soon. I don't want to spend too much time in one place, now that I have the chance to travel and see the end the way I want to. Naruto nodded, but said nothing. Tayuya did another thing, though. Oh. And my advice is, that you should try to find a way to make a lot of money as fast as possible. If you plan to do bounty hunting, you will never be able to get enough money to build a village. I don't even want to talk about the country. And how exactly do I do that? Naruto asked with raised eyebrows. Well, you said that you have always had luck in gambling, Tayuya said. You proved that 2 months ago in Tanzakugai, so maybe you should try something similar, but in another place. You could also try to take over some mines. I know of a gold mine, just over the western border of the land of rice paddies, and another one in the land of rivers. If you can get your hands on them, you will have enough money to start building the village right away. Naruto thought about what Tayuya told him. He knew she was right, and that with bounty hunting, he would be able to get enough money to live comfortably, but for his plans, he needs hundreds of millions of Ryo, and that's not something he can just find around the corner. I guess I'll go and check out those gold mines before I do anything else. Okay, Naruto said. I'll go and check 'em out. When I arrive in the land of whirlpools, we'll talk about what I found and what I managed to get. Tayuya nodded, and after she said goodbye to Naruto and Taya, she went to get the Fuma clan and escort them to the former land of whirlpools. Naruto and Taya turned around and went to a different direction. Finding the gold mine in the country west of the land of rice paddies was not hard, since Taya knew where it is. Getting his hands on it, well, that wasn't that easy, but in the end, Naruto was able to buy out the gold mine after having the talk with the daimyo of that land. The talk went like, you either give me the mine, or I'll chop your head off. Daimyo gave up right away, and from that moment on, Taya was the proud owner of a small gold mine. The reason Taya became the owner of the mine, and not Naruto, is because Taya can actually sign her own name on the ownership paper, while Naruto can't, since he still goes by Alessandro Stark, which is not his name, and he doesn't want anyone to know that he is Naruto Uzumaki. At least not yet. While they were there, Naruto and Taya ended up saving the small village, which was attacked by the remnants of the Shin clan of the land of rice paddies. Most of that clan ended up joining Orochimaru's Sound village, while the remaining several dozen ended up becoming bandits. They were interested in taking over the mine which Naruto bought, and attacked the villages so that they can make them move away. When the villagers refused to leave, the Shin clan went and started to kill them. Unfortunately for the bandits, that was exactly at the same time Naruto and Taya were passing by next to the village, on the way to check out the gold mine. Seeing what's going on, and since Taya told him who the bandits are, Naruto decided to save the villages, dispose of the Shin clan, and if possible, convince the surviving villagers to move to the whirlpool, since the place where the village is would soon become uninhabitable once the mine ends up being opened. Both Naruto and Taya were fighters and destroyers, but only Naruto is good in negotiations, though that was probably because he is scary and tends to threaten to those he wants something from. In this case, it was decided that Taya will deal with Shin clan, while Naruto talks with the villagers, and try to convince them to move to the whirlpool. He decided to have a peaceful talk with them, instead of threatening them, as he would have normally done. That was the reason for why it took him longer to convince the villagers to join him, than it took Taya to deal with several dozen bandits, who were all ninja, and not just regular bandits who had no training. By the time Naruto convinced the villagers to abandon their birthland and move away, Taya has already killed every member of the Shin clan, and was waiting outside of one of the remaining unburned houses, in which Naruto talked with the villagers. Once the villagers were convinced to move to the whirlpool, and the preparations for the moving has started, Taya asked Naruto how he plans to move all the people to the whirlpool. When he heard the question, Naruto realized that he can't take them there, as he doesn't know where it is, and while Taya does know, he doesn't want to send her alone with all those civilians, and he also doesn't want to waste time on going to the whirlpool now, and plans to go there at the later time. He also didn't have a way to contact Tayuya, so that he can have the villagers meet with her and the Fuma clan somewhere, after which, she would take them all to the whirlpool, while Naruto and Taya would continue the journey. It took Naruto half an hour to remember that he can use Garganta to transport all those people from one place to another. Now, he does know that this way of traveling would frighten all those people, but he has no other way to move them. Taya told him that in order to go to the whirlpool, from the land of rice paddies, Tayuya would have to pass through the land of hot water, and go all the way to southern port. Once the villagers were ready, Naruto opened the Garganta, much to everyone's shock and fright, as all they could see is black nothingness. Naruto then went and told them to think of this as a space-time jutsu, and that nothing will happen to them as long as he is here. He said that he will be going ahead, so he can create the path on which the other will walk on, while they will all slowly walk behind him. All they had to do was be careful not to fall off the path. It's simple, right? It took a little while to convince everyone that there is nothing to be afraid of, and after they were all convinced, about 40 civilians followed after Naruto and Taya through Garganta, which closed right after the last person walked through it. XXX. Naruto and Taya were walking down the road in the land of rivers. It has been a week since Naruto left the people he found in that last village. He and Taya have been with Tayuya, and then started his journey to the land of rivers, Taya still with him. The reason it took them that long to get from the land of hot water to the land of rivers, is because they were walking at normal, civilian speed, and had to cross the entire fire country in order to get from one country to the other. As they were walking through the land of rivers on the way to Katabami gold mine, Taya asked Naruto about his powers, and when he was going to give them to her, as he has promised. I will give them to you when we get to the whirlpool, Naruto said. We will stay there for a little while, and it will give you time to get used to your powers, and to do some training in a place where there is no one around, and we won't have to be careful, so that someone doesn't see us. Taya nodded, before she asked, what are you? And how are you going to give me those powers? Naruto sighed. To answer the second question first. You shouldn't worry, because you won't feel anything, and I don't have to bite you or anything similar in order for you to gain this power. Taya looked at him with raised eyebrows. So you do know about Orochimaru's cursed seal? She questioned. Yes, Naruto said shortly, but didn't explain how he knew that. Taya decided not to push her luck by asking him that. As for your first question, well, Naruto then went and explained to Taya about Soul Reapers, Hollows, Soul Society, Hukomundo and Hell. He explained that he is a human, hollow hybrid, and then explained that he used to be normal human, until he died, after which his soul split up and each piece becomes a separate hollow. Then he said about the deaths of those hollows, about him being given a third chance in life, and how he was fused back together to be the same way he was before his death, only older looking and with both types of powers. He didn't say, though, who he was while he was human, and he didn't say who fused him back and gave him another chance. He thought that it was not important to mention it at this time. Lilith used to be a normal human, but I turned her into a hybrid in order to save her life, Naruto said. I saved her because we are cousins, even though we didn't know that when we first met. Technically, the first time Naruto and Tayuya met was when Naruto and the others were chasing after Sasuke, and at that time, neither of them knew that they are cousins. As I'm sure you have realized it by now, Naruto spoke again. My name is not Alessandro Stark, and Lilith's name is also different. Alessandro was the name of a hollow I used to know back in Hukomundo, and Stark was the last name of one of the pieces of my soul. Lilith was the name of a hollow, who was created when Stark split his soul one more time, so technically, you can say they were the same person. Why did you change your name? Taya asked. My real name is Famous, and I don't want anyone to know that I'm alive again. As for Lilith's real name, well, you actually know who she is, but I will leave it to her to tell you her real identity. Taya was surprised when she heard that she actually knows who Lilith really is, and she wondered from where she could know her. She thought about it, and came to a realization, that Lilith must have been someone who worked for Orochimaru at one point in time, which is why she knows so much about him, about the land of rice paddies, and about the fact that Taya is on the same level if not even stronger than Orochimaru. Putting all those things together, it took Taya about 2 minutes to figure out who Lilith really is. She thought about asking Naruto to confirm it, but decided against it, and will just wait and ask Lilith, or better said, Uzumaki Tayuya. Figuring out who Lilith really is, and remembering that Alessandro said that he and Lilith really are cousins, it made her realize that Alessandro is also an Uzumaki, just like Tayuya. If she was right, and she was sure that she is, Taya now knew why Alessandro and Lilith, Tayuya, chose the land of whirlpools as the place where they planned to build a village, and eventually a country. If Alessandro really is an Uzumaki, I wonder why he has blonde hair, Taya wondered. All Uzumaki I have met have red hair, and I know it's a clan trait all Uzumaki have in common. Even half Uzumaki and those who only had one grandparent Uzumaki, had red hairs. Taya thought about it for another minute, before she decided to wait. She was sure that one day, she will know if Alessandro and Lilith really are who she thinks they are. After few more minutes of walking, Naruto asked, what do you know about this next mine? Not much, Taya said. Before I joined Orochimaru, I knew that the mine was controlled by the government leaders, who imposed high taxes on the workers. What happened after I left the land of rivers, and if the things are the same or have changed, I don't know. I see, Naruto said. That means that if the situation is the same, then the people there won't have a problem if we take over, right? Well, I guess it would depend on the kind of deal you make with them, Taya said. If you chase away the current workers to enlist new ones, or if you end up treating them just like the government, then they won't be happy about it. Naruto nodded, and then started to think about how he should approach this situation. In the end, he decided to wait to get there and see with his eyes what's currently going on in the Katabami gold mine, after which, he will decide on how to proceed. XXX. Few hours later, Naruto and Taya were closing in on the Katabami gold mine. From the distance of a few miles, they could see that the sky above the place where the mine and the small village are located has been covered in dark thunder clouds, and they could also hear the sounds of thunder and lightning. The rain has also started to fall not that long ago. Naruto turned toward Taya and asked, "What's that?" Taya frowned as she was looking at the cloud-covered sky. "I'm not sure," she said. "But I think there is some king of battle going on over there. I can feel a large amount of lightning nature chakra in the air, and it's coming from where the mine is." Naruto looked toward the mine for a few moments, before he said, "Let's go and check it out. Someone could be attacking the workers and trying to take over the gold mine." Taya agreed, and so they ran toward the mine at the fastest speed Taya was capable of. Naruto could go much faster, but decided to run as fast as Taya, and not leave her behind. XXX. Few minutes later, they arrived in front of what looks like a small house with a curry shop at the ground level. Just as the two were about to enter into the shop, the door burst open, and out came an older woman, and man in his 20s, with a big cauldron on his back. Naruto and Taya also saw a young girl, along with an even younger boy, at her back. Naruto took one look at the girl, and instantly recognized her. It might have been over a millennia since he has been in the Leaf Village and seen the people there, but he has the perfect memory of his original life, thanks to the goddess. He decided to pretend he didn't know her, and asked, "Excuse me." Naruto drew the attention of the four people who just came out from the curry shop. "Can you tell us what's going on over there?" Naruto pointed toward the top of the gold mine, where the thunder and lightning are seen and heard. Instead of answering the question, Tenten asked, "Who are you? And what are you doing here?" Naruto and Taya looked at each other for a moment, before Taya shrugged. "My name is Alessandro, and this is my companion, Taya," Naruto said. "We came here on a business, but as we were getting closer, we noticed the lightning and rushed her to see what's going on." Now Tenten and the other three were looking at each other, and wondered who these two are and if they are friends or possible foes. Tenten actually voiced this question, getting raised eyebrows from Naruto and Taya. "Well, we are not looking for trouble," Taya spoke for the first time. "We just want to know what's going on here." The old lady looked at the two for a moment, before she sighed, and told them that there is currently a battle between one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, against Tenten's teammates. She also explained what happened to lead to the confrontation. When she finished, Naruto looked at Taya, and nodded at her. As soon as he did that, she disappeared in a lightning shunshin, surprising the other 4, who then looked at Naruto, wanting an explanation. "I don't know what you were planning to do by coming out of that shop during a storm like this," Naruto said, "but if you were planning to go to the mine and assist to those 2 ninja in any way, well, you should just return to the shop, as my friend will deal with Reiga and save your friends." "And why would she do that?" Tenten asked with narrowed eyes. "What do you get out of it?" Naruto looked at her for a moment, before he sighed, and said, "Can we just enter inside of the shop, and I'll explain. I don't feel like standing on this rain and neither should you." Since she is the owner of the curry shop, the old woman agreed to Naruto's suggestion, and they all went inside of her curry shop. Once inside, the young man took the cauldron into the kitchen, while Tenten, the kid she had with her, and the old woman, sat with Naruto at the table to talk. The young men joined them right away. "So, who are you and what business do you and your companion have here?" Sancho asked. "I recently acquired a gold mine in the land north of the Land of Fire." Naruto started to explain his reason for being there. "But it's not very big mine, and I'm interested in acquiring more of them. I heard about the Katabami gold mine, and decided to come here and see the current situation and if it's possible to take over this mine as its owner." This got him raised eyebrows from everyone in the room, but no one said anything for a full minute. Finally, Sancho spoke. "You know, up until few years ago, no one really cared about the Katabami gold mine, but then the government of this land took over and started to exploit the mine. They imposed high taxes on the workers, and no one here was happy." Naruto nodded, saying that he already knew that from Taya, who was original from the Land of Rivers. Then, Sancho continued, "About 6 months ago, the Kurosuke family led by Reiga, took over the mine and chased away the government leaders. At first, everyone here was happy because we thought that it will be better. It wasn't better, it was worse. Every time he doesn't like someone, or if someone angers or disobeys him, Reiga would seal them alive inside of a coffin, and then bury them. Naruto's eyes narrowed at this. He would then go and cry and tell the sad stories about those who are buried, making it look like he was actually sad, but he in fact enjoys it. Dozens of mine workers have been buried alive. People who had family, friends, they are all gone, and for what? For nothing. For a sick fuck to bury them alive and cry on their funeral. It's terrible. Tenten, Ranmaru and Karashi all looked at the floor, Ranmaru and Karashi in shame, since they had a hand in the death of those people, while Tenten because she was sad for all those people, all that life lost for nothing. Naruto was quiet and looked calm on the outside, but in his head, he is also calm and quiet. Stuff like this don't really bother him, as he is not really people person and doesn't care much about anyone except those close to him. Now, while he isn't bothered or angry, he feels sorry for all those innocent people who died because of a maniac. The good thing is, that this story reminded him of the fact that there are many people in the end who deserve to be eviscerated and he will make sure they all are taken care of. So, how did it come to the battle between Reiga and the Leaf Ninja? Naruto asked while looking at Tenten. Well, one of our shinobi found 3 unconscious people in the river outside of Konoha, she said. They were taken to the hospital and when they woke up, they said what's happening, and the village leaders decided to send a team here and deal with the Kurosuke family. Naruto looked at Tenten with raised eyebrows and confused look on his face. Let me get this straight, he said. The 5th Hokage sent 3 genin to deal with one of the 7 swordsmen of the Mist, and the former member of Mist's Anbu Black Ops. Seeing Tenten no, Naruto asked. Is she insane? Tenten was offended by the question. As to her, it seems that Naruto is doubting her and her teammates' skills, and has even offended her childhood hero, Lady Tsunade. She didn't send us, Tenten all but yelled at Naruto, while coming closer to his face, and glared at him. Naruto just sat there, completely calm. He wasn't bothered by Tenten's outburst, nor was he afraid of her. Tenten was calmed down by Ranmaru, Karashi and Sancho. She took a deep breath, before she continued to speak. We were sent by the village elders. Lady Tsunade is currently incapable of performing her duties as a Hokage, so in her absence, the elders are the ones who are leading the village, and are sending ninja on the missions. Naruto went into deep though as soon as he heard that Tsunade is indisposed, and remembered that she ended up in the asylum at some point, but he wasn't exactly sure when. He decided to find a way to keep a close eye on the Leaf, and see what he can do about Tsunade once she is sent to the asylum. Well, your village elders are complete morons, Naruto said with a straight face, making the eyes of everyone in the room widen in disbelief. You can be angry at me for saying that, and say how I shouldn't underestimate you and your teammates, but 3 genin have no chance against highly skilled swordsmen like Reiga. Deep down, I know you know that, even if you don't want to admit it. Tenten wanted to say something, but nothing came out. It was like her own voice betrayed her, and made her keep quiet. Of course, it might also be a rational part of her brain, which prevented her from speaking and embarrassing herself. Naruto is right when he said that deep down, she knows that Neji, Lee and she wouldn't be able to take out Reiga. And do you think that friend of yours would be able to take out Reiga? Tenten asked after she remembered that Taya went to face against Reiga. She doesn't seem to be much older than me and my teammates. You are right, Naruto said. She is only few years older than you and your friends, but she is also much stronger than any of you. Her power and skill easily make her a cage-level fighter. Tenten's eyes bugged out from her head when she heard how powerful Taya is, as she couldn't believe it. The same goes for the other 3 people in the room, who were also shocked, while Ranmaru was also scared that Reiga will really be killed by Taya if she really is as strong as Naruto says she is. That will be it for this video. If you want more, comment down below, like, subscribe. And see you guys later.